2020 Election Day. It's 9:11 a.m. This message is an urgent SOS to President Trump and to Michael Jackson's Army of Love, also known as Michael's Army members or Michael's Army. You know who you are. So I need your help right away. I need it today. I don't know if they will delete this audio before I get it to Facebook. That I've not been able to get on for months, only a couple times in the last few years. Or when. So share it first and then read it all the way through. Read or listen to it all the way through. My life is in imminent danger right now. Not by criminal syndicates or some lone murderer, but by a corrupt group of dirty United States federal marshals based out of California. I believe they're based out of California, possibly Menlo Park. If they succeed in taking my life, then I wanted the world to know who did it, how they did it, why, what they were after, and I want to give you enough evidence to not only stop them cold, but to ensure that they'll never hurt anyone else ever again. President Trump. My name is Melissa Johnson, and I'm the co-creator and co-founder of Michael's Army, which is a very large group of Jackson fans who are activists against corruption, injustice, and abuse of power. We're going to do a lot more than that, but that's the basics of it. It's within our country and around the world. It's not just American. I'm also the co-creator of the celebrity charity Heal the World Foundation, also known as HTWF, the charity that Michael gave to the world in 1991, and with the help of his army, intends to make the largest organization for healing and improvement to mankind in the world. I'm also a suburban woman, a business owner, and right now I happen to be a damsel in distress. I'm asking not only our president, but also a man, to rescue a woman who's been assaulted repeatedly, not just by one abusive male, but by several men on the job, wielding federal law enforcement badges. Men sworn at some point to protect and serve American citizens. And I'm one of those too. These dirty feds have been holding me and my family captive, illegally incarcerating me without due process of law, holding our heads below water so we cannot do anything but struggle to breathe, to live while they can repeatedly assault us daily at their will, trying to frame us, entrap us, criminalize and discredit us. And this is for no less than 811 days and counting. They have drugged me so they can rob me of evidence I have on them and their benefactors and their partners. They have used that badge of great honor and respect to assault me and my loved ones incessantly for nearly 2 years now and counting. And I mean physical assaults, not in the traditional sense. They haven't come in here and beat me up physically. But mental assaults, psychological torture, emotional assaults, financial assaults. And why are they doing this? Well, they're going to be connected to Mr. John Branca, who's the current executor of Michael Jackson's estate. And they've been on the take from him and others, I would imagine, for many years now. This is not their first rodeo. The illegal acts and the things they've been doing to us for 2 years is not something that they just started doing. They're too good at it. Branca and others that he's teamed up with are my personal adversaries. They're my legal opponents from the past, present and upcoming lawsuits over Jackson-related trademarks, custody cases, and others. And one of their goals, the Dirty Feds' goals, is to claim to be investigating me without arresting me, while subjugating me totally, while they frame me for as many crimes as they can connect me to, teaming up with good feds and cops in Utah and also in Vegas to build their credibility. I believe they're hiding in, they work with other law enforcement, and I don't believe these other law enforcement are all dirty. I think they're doing their job and deferring to this task force that is dirty. I'm guessing about six men, a task force of 6 men from California, hired by Bronca. And in order to preserve, they're doing this to preserve themselves at this point, because of the evidence that they hold from future criminal action. Obviously, they don't want to lose their job. And copious smoking gun evidence that I've collected over the past 2 years against them. As to Bronca and his other partners, our other legal opponents, they all want to avoid future legal battles where they have gotten recent knowledge that I'm going to challenge Bronca and his executorship of the estate of Michael Jackson. And I'm going to accuse him of multiple crimes. He knows what's coming because he knows he did them, including fraud in 2011 in our trademark litigation against him. I'll accuse and provide evidence that has been illegal, that he's also been illegally stalking, wiretapping, hacking me, my family, and the Jackson family for years. And now that I have acquired smoking gun evidence against the Dirty Feds, he actually paid off to target me. I am mostly and most certainly walking and talking evidence against all of them. I'm only finding the courage to try to post this message publicly, which I doubt they're even going to let me do. But I'm going to go for it anyway because of some healing and empowering words that actually came from Kanye West, that he said in some videos that I felt the Lord prompting me to watch, oddly enough, and they healed me and they inspired me to action, and also the fact that I'm pretty sure that these men and their partners, or whoever they're working with, Bronca, have been trying to kill me and make it look like an accident, maybe a suicide, or they saw a gun and shot me in self-defense. Now I'm not just claiming these things out of the blue, out of nowhere. On September 4th, 2020, a 13-year-old autistic boy was shot and killed in Salt Lake City by police claiming that they had seen a gun. And this was minutes away from my home, just a half hour. Those officers were not likely trying to kill the boy, so I'm pretty sure that the gun that they planted, my Dirty Feds, in my bedroom was not meant for a range shooting. And on September 18, I discovered a .45 Glock, a handgun, in my office. I had never seen it before, and I then proceeded to write an 8-hour journal, digital journal, on my computer about the gun incident and other evidence that I had had against the Dirty Feds, other screenshots and other smoking gun evidence, reporting in my daily journal in real time that I would never kill myself, that I'm not on drugs, I'm not depressed, I'm not mentally unstable. And, upon finishing that document after 8 hours, they deleted the entire journal, making it look like it was me who deleted it. And they have ways of doing that. They deleted my login sheet to lock me out of my bank accounts and other vendors, while they continue to bankrupt me, destroy my business, and my spirit, my resolve, and my health. And then shortly after that, I discovered they broke in and had stolen physical copies that I had printed out, so they couldn't digitally delete them. of other evidence I had against them. I called 911 to report my captivity, the gun, and other dozens of robberies at the hands of the dirty feds where they were trying to steal whatever evidence they could get their hands on. But they control my phones. They redirected my call and sent an undercover federal marshal here instead of he was posing as an Orem police officer. And not only did he refuse to take my physical evidence, claiming my computer, 2 rooms full of evidence that I showed him, the gun, the bags of hidden cameras, audio devices that I found in my bathroom and bedroom and so forth, and all my daily journals, my photos, auto recorders, video recorders, and with real-time descriptions of their illegal acts, hundreds of screenshots and bank statements, business documents, insurance and other documents, tons of records where I could show evidence of their foul play, illegal acts, criminal activity, more like a criminal syndicate rather than federal agents on the job. That wasn't enough to get the feds involved, the undercover officer said. But he also refused to report my allegations to the DOJ, to the Utah Attorney General, or to the Utah Governor. Instead, he suggested I just see a crisis counselor because I was pretty upset. And so my dirty cop slave master, who was standing there pretending to be an Orem police officer, and really he was a fed, was just patronizing me. And let me know who was boss, who's master over me. And that, no matter what I did, I wasn't going to get my evidence to the DOJ. I wasn't going to get my evidence or my report of foul play and my captivity to anyone, because they were in charge, building their own narrative that I'm also mentally unstable. They've been doing that for quite a while, modifying my medical records so that they could try to claim that I was mentally unstable as I reported their foul play to FBI and local law enforcement. In fact, they just straight out blocked my attempts to report. They've been blocking my reports, repeated reports of their foul play for the entire 2 years. Simply put, Michael was murdered, and it was made to look like an accident for the very things that I'm trying to protect and preserve for the Jackson family, his children, and the beneficiaries of his work, which is the work that I've helped him create, and I intend to bring to the world to honor his legacy and his love of mankind. Shortly after his death, shortly after Michael's death, that is, Peter Lopez, Michael's attorney, was murdered, and it was made to look like a suicide. Frank DeLeo, Michael's manager, a hostile witness in our litigation against Bronca, also ends up dead from some complications while having surgery. Things that I found out about these men would not put that out of range of a murder. Mr. Klein, Michael's dermatologist, ended up dead. I don't know the details about that, but there's been, Michael's manager that worked directly with me and Michael concerning the trademarks and Heal the World Foundation before his death, and the trademarks in dispute against Bronca that we held in the charity to preserve for Michael, his family, and the world, were also against Bronca in 2011. That guy died as well. So, my viewpoint on my concern for my well-being, my life, my safety, the evidence that I hold, the smoking gun evidence that I hold, I feel like I'm either going to be taken out, I'm going to be murdered, or continually tortured and framed until they arrest me and falsely accuse me of crimes I did not commit. Either way, my family is here, and we need protection right now. So, Michael's Army, soldiers of love, you know who you are. I need you to get to Utah and be a voice for the voiceless. Help me fight the evil bastards that stole Michael's estate, his assets, his capacity to influence and earn wealth for his family, his children, and the children of the world. Help me fight one of the country's biggest injustices, one of the most egregious cases in American history of corruption, including these unconscionable acts of abuse of power, excessive force, and illegal activity in our law enforcement. Help me prevent the death of Michael's work on earth, the total loss of his estate and assets, his trademarks, to the very people, now this is based on my opinion, who conspired to and actually murdered Mr. Jackson in 2009. I need superheroes only in this battle. Hate will never be beaten, burned, or stolen out of a battle. It cannot be destroyed by any components of it. So violence, theft, destruction, harming another, those are the weapons of our enemy. And we must have the courage enough to fight evil with the swords of love. Like Michael taught us. So protest, march, but do it to Michael's music, to Kanye's, to other soldiers of good on earth. Punch your fist to salute and honor Michael, not to hurt our opponents. We go after them and call them out on their stuff, but we do it with love. If President Trump doesn't get this message in time, or doesn't action it at all, I need you to literally come to my home and be my voice, my security detail, and protect me and the evidence I have against these dirty federal marshals. I need personal video cameras to document my unlawful incarceration, and whenever they do an illegal act, they've got video cameras on me at all times. I need to have video cameras that they can't turn off or delete or erase the data, so I can document exactly the injustice and the corruption that's afoot here. So if today President Trump commits publicly to help rescue me and my loved ones, which will save Michael's estate, his assets, his charity, and his legacy, which is to heal the world one character at a time, then I'm asking you to get out today and vote for Trump. Now the Spirit of God has inspired my mind. After I'd prayed for direction that as to what I should do, how I should protect my evidence, this work, and so on, my lives and the lives of my loved ones. And the Lord Spirit directed me that Trump would win, inspired my mind that Trump would win the election today, and he would go on to fight the corruption that we will protest after his election. So I figure if he's going to win anyway, let's give him a reason to make the promise to us and the American people, to Michael's family, Michael's legacy. President Trump, you don't have to believe someone's inspiration after prayer. I know it's the truth, and but just in case, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a lot of suburban women voting for you, and a whole lot of Michael Jackson fans. If you promise us publicly that if elected, you will rescue and protect me and my family from these dirty feds, and you will wage war on corruption in our judicial, prison, law enforcement, and our governmental systems. And then I will promise you that you will win this election. God bless America. My name is Melissa Johnson.